Well, the previous one we assembled just the first parts of the bulkhead. Now we're going to continue on. So we're going to need a few other things. First, we're going to set this aside. I'm not going to need the grease for now. So I'll set this aside, and now I'm going to deal with bearings. So you're going to grab both of these carriers right in here, and there's two bearings. The small bearing is going to go on the front, and it should fit snug. When you place it in, make sure it's flat, even, and then press it in. If it's at an angle, so if you're putting it in, say like this, I'm exaggerating, once it goes in there, you're going to damage the plastic, or the bearing won't seat properly, and you will have some problems. All right, so that one is in there. We have our bearings in, and now we're going to grab these here. So we have our little casters. We have 1 and 2. Now these here, there is a right and a left assembly, so this is something that we have to take note of. Now this here, based on the picture, you're going to face back, so that's going to go toward the back. And this one here, that goes toward the back as well. So that little U shape should go up. Just place it up, and then we're going to have these here, and these, the small bearing is going to be facing up as well when you assemble. So if you look at this one's going to go this way. The small bearing is going to face up. These little ears there, those are going to be facing away from you. So this one goes here, right in here, and bearing's going to fall out. This one's going to go over here. So those are the things that you need to know. And for these, we're going to need these screws right in here. Now, the other thing to note as well is these plastics should be marked. I hope they are marked. There should be a left and a right. I'm actually not seeing the letter, but not a big deal. If you just go based on the picture, everything will work out. So these will be just like this. So I can go ahead and drop one of these screws, and that looks like a 2.5 millimeter driver that is required. And just gonna hold the carrier, and then just gonna drive the screw in. I'm not gonna drive it all the way, because I wanna make sure to install the bottom one. Now, a thing to note about these kits, you generally do not get spare parts, so you don't get extra screws. So if you do lose one, you're out of luck. You will have to buy screws. So that's something to keep in mind. Sometimes you do, depends, but usually you do not. All right, and that is it. So that one is ready. Now we can go ahead and assemble this one. So this one, I'll do the same thing. I shall hold it this way. And I will start driving this in. All right, I'm not going to drive it all the way. Let's go ahead and flip this. And here we go. And when you drive these in, do not over tighten these at all. As soon as you feel resistance, you stop. And the reason why is this needs to move freely. So you're going to drive them all the way in, but do not over tighten. These have to move freely. If they do not move freely, there's a problem. You did something wrong. Now we can move on to the shafts. The shafts will always be mated, so you have this end and you have this end. So you have the female end, and the male end is the thinner one. It just goes in there. That is really it. You don't have to put them together now, but that's what you end up doing. Now here, let's see, this will now go here. So this little washer that you saw rolling, this is going to go here on the outside, and that's going to protect the bearing. And see if I push this right in here, you're going to see that little hole. So there's going to be a pin. See, that's the reason why you don't assemble it. This pin is going to go in there. So what that little washer does is it protects the bearing from that pin. And that is it. So at this point, you grab the hex. Now the hex, if you notice these little lines, they always correspond to the angle. So as long as you know what angles correspond to them, you can just line it up, and then you should be able to just press on. I'm just trying to line this up, and there we go. Should click. Once it snaps, you are good to go. Doesn't matter which one of these you place where, but I'll leave it there. So let's go ahead and assemble the next one. So the next one, just gonna grab this one, that'll go in. We will grab that little washer, drop that in. And then once we do that, we can grab this pin. The pin will go inside. And up. All right, we'll grab this, and now we'll snap on. Or not. I'm gonna grab pliers, just set them here and push this down. There we go. And I guess my fingers are too soft. There. I can go ahead and place this here just for fun so it looks like the picture. And there it is. So you can always just double check, make sure it looks like the picture, and yes, it does. All right, at this point I need to grab the bulkhead. Now this is where you're gonna need these two little screws right here. Now you do not need thread lock because you're going into plastic. Now this is gonna be the left side, that's gonna be the right. So if I rotate it this way, that's the front of the vehicle, right, left. So this is the right assembly. This will go in here. And if you notice that hole right in there, let's see if I can rotate this for you. Right in there, that hole, you want to make sure that you line up that hole as well. Now, with this hole, one of them is larger, that's where it's going to thread. So make sure that this one is facing up, this one is facing down, or else you're going to have a difficult time threading this in. And if you want to, you can actually just remove this and just install this. You don't have to hold on. These things disappeared. There they are. We'll place that in there. So it should just slide, and it should slide all the way up until the threads hit it. And this is a 1.5 millimeter driver. Got used to 2 millimeter drivers, right? And again, you just drive it and it's snug. Once it is snug, that is all you need. There. So as soon as you feel that resistance, you stop. And when you check it, you should be able to see let's see. Well, here, let's see. All right, actually I have to, what is hitting? Oh, that's what it was. All right. All right, so we can go ahead and install the next one. So I'll go ahead and remove this here. And I'll face, let's see which side, this side. This side will go in here. Where is that pin? There it is. Again, you drop it in. There. All right. Perfect. So drop that. And this was the right side. And if for some reason, I mean, just compare it to the picture again and everything will be fine. This is going to be up because this is where your links go. So I'm going to go ahead and install this in here now and place this in here. And actually, no, I made a mistake. These go down. Fascinating, why would these go down? Let me just double check. Something doesn't quite... I should look at the picture, that's what I should do. All right, so we have these. All right, it's facing that way. I do have the right one. This is facing here. And this does not fit inside of the arm, so how are you expecting me to install this? Right assembly, all right, pin goes in there. Oh, I see. Interesting. So if you see that little slot, in there? The arm actually goes inside of that slot. And that'll do it. Now, here in the picture, it has you drive them both from the rear forward. I don't know how this is going to work out, to be honest, and the reason why is many times these will back out on one side. So hopefully they don't back out. If they do back out, something you can do is just drill a little hole and put a little set screw in there. And that'll usually help. But there it is. So this is much easier than I thought it would be. All right, so again, it goes into that little hole. And this is it. And these are the plastic ones, but you could get the ones off of the Platinum model or the Ultimate model and put them in. They fit right in here. So you can go ahead and do that. That is an upgrade that you can do on this one. But that is it. So we have this, and now we just have to install the links. And the links are these gray ones here, and these are not adjustable. So if you wanted the adjustable ones, you could. And we're going to go with the stock setting, which is going to be the inner lower hole on each. These links appear to be the same regardless of how we flip them. So I will go ahead and grab one of these screws, 2.5 millimeter driver. Now let's see. Quick note, make sure that you use these little steel washers, so you have 4 of them. You're only going to be using 2 for this section, but those go on the other side of the screw that holds the link. So just make sure that you place that there. Let me just put this in the correct hole. And that is all for this part of the build. So just don't forget to install those washers right in there. That's it. All right. And I'm using these here. right. Now, use this one. Oh wait, nope. This one uses a regular screw. Really? These go here. I could have sworn those were going to be for the shocks. So on the on a previous video, I said these were for the shocks. They looked very similar. Apparently, they're for here. So these will go in here, and it does the top. So it calls for the top, and it's the 15, which is this one. So out of these screws, it's the shorter ones, and there. All right. Just goes in there. If you were to get the adjustable links, they generally come with a little metal drum. All right, we'll place this one here. We'll drop one of these in. And again, I'm going to go with the inner lower hole. Inner lower hole, right in here. And one thing, check that everything moves freely. I mean, I'm going by feel, so I can feel it's gone freely, but if this is your very, very first kit ever of any sort, just make sure that things that are supposed to move freely, move freely. There. And good. All right, everything looks good. Arms work well, and this is it. So we have completed this page right over here. On the next one, we'll finish everything off. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to comment if you have any comments on the build or any strategies. Please put those down below. Other than that, I will catch you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching.
What? Oh, my hair! My tongue! My room!